I'm talking about the MJF Wardlow promo that happened last week and some of the imagery that was actually part of it. First off, MJF knows how to use a camera really well, and I mean that you're taught stuff like that when you are wrestling and going to be on TV and things along those lines, but he knows how things on TV look, because when he's doing the promo and when he did the promo, he got right up in the camera, and heels do that sometimes when they're talking and giving their thing, but he did it in such a way that it looked a particular way. And I mean that first off, he got so close to the camera, it actually distorted how he looked. It had sort of a fisheye effect. And secondly, rather than keeping his head straight or tilting his head up when he went into it, he tilted his head down like this. That really sort of distorted the whole image and also makes you look more threatening when you throw your head down into something, because same expression here becomes that when you do it that way. And he did it so many times that I actually noticed it in that particular promo. So I think he was very well aware of what he was doing. The second part was the imagery with Wardlow. And that part was just, I don't know whether that was a happy accident or whether that was blocked out and planned, the way they did it. But generally when you have your plucky babyface come out and they're going to challenge whoever was talking crap about them and whatever else, the security or the people trying to stop them get in between, and it's like that they stand in front of them sort of and do that, whoa bro, don't go up there and start anything sort of a thing. This particular case, they kind of did that, but then towards the end, after he'd thrown around a little bit, towards the end, they all sort of part, and you get this kind of image where he is leaning through them, and it was a very clear shot of him, and then around him was all the security, and they're all holding on to him, and he's leaning so far forward in this whole thing that I swear if they'd let go of him, he would have just fallen flat on his face. And that was a really good image when you pulled away from it, and it looked very much like how they do in movies and comic books when you've got the villain talking to the protagonist, and that protagonist is chained up or tied up in some way, and they are leaning forward because they are so angry that they're trying to get out at the villain even though they know they can't. And they gave that image without using those particular props. They gave that image just with the people standing there, and it looked really good. And I heard a lot of people talking about how good of a promo it was, but there were some other features of it that was more than just the words. Wardlow himself is not the greatest talker, and I don't mean that in a bad way. I just mean I don't think he's had a whole lot of practice on a big stage, and he's a very good facial actor, though, and I don't just mean that because he's good looking. He reacts to things very, very well, and you can kind of see what's going on in his face. It's actually better that he does it that way than him try to stand there and give a speech that sounds kind of stilted. But that whole image where his face, it was just like that, so angry, you're grimace smiling, and he's leaned so far forward, and MJF is up above him, and it's that whole idea of him being chained up. And it was the thing that MJF kept saying, that this contract is ironclad, and he's chained to it, and he is tied to this contract whether he wants to be or not, and he's just kind of stuck there. And God bless, being the dumb babyface, he went and did something that got him in trouble before he actually got out of that contract. He should have got out of that contract before he tried to help CM Punk or do something stupid. And he didn't, typical babyface, and then proceeded to now get stuck in this whole situation where he is very much the sympathetic figure. And that imagery was so good. Whether they really, really intended that or whether that was just something that ended up happening, with how that looked. Total Spot Fest Wrestling podcast, which if you don't follow them on YouTube, you should, because they're actually the ones who caused me to start my own YouTube channel of sorts. They made the comment on one of my comments about the fact that that image of him leaning through the people looked like a comic book image they couldn't remember from where. And I know Wardlow really likes Superman. I've seen that on his Instagram. So it almost makes me wonder if that was a throw to that. I don't really know. But it is at least something that's in keeping with that type of idea of what was going on. And a very good promo, not just from a speaking standpoint, but from an imagery and kind of blocking standpoint as well.